Welcome to Roanoke County Business Partners. On today's show, we present how investors can benefit from the federally designated Opportunity Zone program, which provides tax incentives for investments in designated areas, including Roanoke County's zone at the interchange of Interstates 81 and 581. Next, we present highlights from an economic development town hall featuring the county's efforts to assist businesses during COVID-19.
Opportunity Zone basics. I mentioned almost all of this already, but I wanted to have it in a slide where you can see. One major thing that I want to point out is that opportunity zones, as Beth mentioned, are federally designated by Treasury. The states had input into which ones got chosen, but they are low-income census tracts. Virginia has 212 of them. They are all over the place. And there is a website that we will share with you that you can look up addresses or towns, anything, and see where the zones are. It's a tax incentive program that can be paired with all kinds of other grants, debt, equity, just one part of what I call a capital stack, and we can get into that later. What is an opportunity zone investor? It can be an individual, or it can be a corporation, a business. The key is that whichever type of investor it is, they're going to have capital gains that they've earned in the past 6 months in order to benefit from the program and the tax benefits. So any kind of money can be invested in an opportunity zone project. It's just that if you want the benefit of the program, it's your capital gains that are invested that will get that benefit. And the capital gains will be invested through a fund. Now, sometimes it's invested in a fund that is a large fund that you can just join. Other times, if it's just a single investor or a group of investors, you work with an attorney and you set up a pass-through entity. It can be as simple as an LLC with an associated bank account that the money passes through in order to invest in the project. So what's in it for me? If I'm an investor, at the end of the day, what's in it for me is tax benefits, significant tax benefits on my capital gains, which otherwise I would owe money to the IRS on, and still will, but reduced amounts. If I'm a real estate project sponsor, let's say I'm either a developer or organizing a project of many stakeholders, or if I'm an entrepreneur that's about to start up a business, or if I'm an existing business owner, what's in it for me is access to a wider pool and or different types of investors. So for example, where you may have typically a sources and uses table, and the sources, it might typically just be debt, money, and grant, and a little bit of equity if you can find it. Having access to this program might give you more opportunity to have investors look at your project because it's an OZ project and they can get those tax benefits. So it's an additional capital stacking tool to diversify all the sources of capital that go into your project. If I'm selling my property, or if I'm even just leasing it, the OZ, I might not get tax benefits because I'm not using the program as an investment. It's a marketing tool. If I'm a business owner and I want to move my company into Virginia, if I have 2 sites that are fantastic, otherwise equal, let's say, but one is an opportunity zone and I know that my investors have capital gains, I'm going to choose that opportunity zone site over another site. So it's a marketing tool that should be included in any kind of communication about your site. Lastly, for all stakeholders, opportunity zones by nature, since they are in low-income census tracts, and the whole point of them is to bring economic development and enhance these communities. And every single stakeholder, by participating in these projects, are participating in serving their communities and adding impact. Benefits to OZ investors for making an opportunity investment. Let's remember, it's all about the capital gains. There are 3 benefits. The first one, the immediate benefit, is deferral of capital gains taxes from your sale of anything if there's appreciation until 2026. The medium-term benefit of this program is when my tax bill is due from the sale of my house, I get a 10% discount on that bill, assuming that my money has been in the tech company project for 5 years. Now, if I invest it in 2020 or 2021, I'm going to meet that 5-year period. Last, the long-term benefit, and this is a big one. If my money has been invested in the OZ investment for a minimum of 10 years, it's not 10 years flat, it can be more than 10 years, but a minimum of 10 years. At the point where I have a liquidation, so let's say I sell my shares, or the company sells to someone else and gets sold entirely. In this case, as you can see that by the picture, we're going to say that this tech company, they were on point. I made a good investment. This tech company doubled in value. So my $100,000 turned into $200,000, which means I have a $100,000 appreciation, also known as a capital gain. Had this been a regular investment, I would have owed another $25,000 to the IRS. But based on this program, my capital gains tax bill is 0. Any appreciation earned after 10 years at the point of liquidation on a qualified OZ investment is exempt 100% from capital gains taxes. But I just want to mention which types of companies and real estate opportunities are qualified for the OZ program. Operating businesses. Let's focus on the second bullet point. Essentially, they need to be located in an opportunity zone. And there's flexibility here. So essentially, about 50% or 50% or more of the company's hours performed or income earned, or there's even an HQ test where the management and certain other things related to the company are all located in the opportunity zone. If any one of these tests are met, then the company is qualified as an opportunity zone company. Additionally, 70% or more of the company's assets are located in the opportunity zone. So, I mean, if you're doing business in an OZ and you're serving folks in the OZ, or the product is being made in the OZ, it does not matter where the product is shipped to, essentially you qualify. And the last bullet point there is no sin businesses. And this list is the same as those for the New Market Tax Credit Program. It's massage parlors, gambling facilities, etc.
Next up is Jill Loop, who's the Director of Economic Development for Roanoke County, which has one large zone, but diverse opportunities from large acreage business property to multifamily housing to commercial development. Roanoke County has a population of about 93,000, and Jill will tell you about the unique opportunities in the county's zone. Jill?
The Roanoke County Opportunity Zone consists of approximately 2.8 square miles and nearly 1,800 acres. The zone is highly visible and bordered on the north by I-81, on the east by I-581, the south by Peters Creek Road, and on the west by Electric Road or Route 419. This area is the gateway to the Roanoke Valley and includes the Woodhaven Technology Park, a newly created 115-acre park, a multi-jurisdictional partnership of 6 local governments. The Roanoke County Opportunity Zone is an area dense with development, and many of these properties within the zone are residential. However, we have identified 33 parcels and 200 acres of undeveloped or underdeveloped property within the zone that present desirable opportunities for future investment. Given the large land area and the diversity of the properties within the zone, we have isolated areas within the zone by districts. These districts are the target areas for future development, specifically for industrial, commercial, or multifamily housing. It is important to note that as we look at the districts within the zone, these are not inclusive of all the potential opportunities for development or redevelopment. We have identified parcels based upon their location in commercial corridors, appropriate zoning, and overall development potential as a starting point for marketing the zone to potential investors. Overall, our marketing focus includes areas with properties currently listed for sale or lease. So let's take a look at some of these investment opportunities in each district. Carrie? The first is the Woodhaven District. This is the location for the 115-acre Woodhaven Industrial or Technology Park located directly on I-81 and I-581. This park is 115 acres. It's jointly owned and marketed by Roanoke County, Roanoke City, and the City of Salem to attract high technology and advanced manufacturing or industrial uses or professional office and research and development operations. This site is currently being prepared for future development with a new entrance road under construction and new utility extensions, as well as site preparation underway this year. This property represents the single largest opportunity for development in the opportunity zone. It is the greatest potential for development for one or two large industrial users and is in a highly visible location that is supported by multiple local governments. Next slide, please. The Peters Creek District has an average daily traffic count of about 21,000 vehicles per day. This area is an excellent fit for general commercial, office, and multifamily residential development. 3 properties currently listed are shown here, but they are no means the only option for future development. In fact, several of the parcels in this area can be assembled to create a much greater opportunity for strategic and savvy investors. All it takes is a little creativity, vision, and a viable project to turn a 5-acre site into a 30-acre opportunity. Next slide, please. The Airport District, this area represents the greatest redevelopment potential as there are numerous commercial and industrial properties here that would be ideal for office, hotel, restaurant, multifamily residential, and light industrial development. Shown here are a few properties that are currently listed for sale that are located within close proximity to the airport, as well as nearby urban amenities. Also, the Peters Creek interchange is slated for reconstruction in the future and will bring more development potential to this corridor. Again, this district presents some ready-to-go sites, as well as outstanding opportunities for strategic and sophisticated investors. Next slide, please. The I-81 district has an average daily traffic count of about 18,000, and potential development in this area would be for office, multifamily residential, and general commercial. Similar to the Woodhaven district, this area has high visibility, outstanding access, and an average daily traffic count of 73,000 vehicles per day on I-81. Shown here are the Cove Road commercial sites, suitable for general office, commercial, or retail, as well as the Electric Road commercial sites owned by Pinkerton Chevrolet, which are also well positioned for commercial, retail, or office uses. Overall benefits of the Roanoke County Opportunity Zone include a high degree of visibility, great access via the interstates and 4-lane arterials, as well as the zone's close proximity to the region's urban amenities, airport, and business services. We also have a high degree of infrastructure, including high-speed broadband. It's widely available in all commercial corridors throughout our zone. Typically, Roanoke County incentives are direct cash grants to a company to offset development costs, or for associated public infrastructure improvements. And these are some of the examples of ways that we will partner with you to help you with any kind of investment opportunity. Finally, we have secured a $15,000 grant from the Department of Housing and Community Development for a marketing prospectus for our zone, which will be developed over the next several months and available on our website. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about specific investment opportunities in our zone. We invite you to consider us as a partner in future investment opportunities. All of the information presented here today will be on our website at yesroanoke.org, and we invite you to use this information to leverage your own marketing outreach to investors. And thank you for this opportunity to share Roanoke County Zone with you today.
And now, here's Economic Development Director Jill Loop's presentation from the Economic Development Town Hall held on July 22nd, 2020.
Obviously, COVID-19 has had an enormous negative impact on county businesses, their employees, owners, and customers. Throughout the pandemic, staff has stayed in close contact with county businesses through regular phone calls, emails, social media posts, and our website, so that we can monitor COVID's impact on business productivity, revenues, and employment, and to connect businesses with an array of resources for which many express great appreciation. We immediately formed a regional task force of economic development professionals to respond to the pandemic. As part of our outreach effort, we surveyed all businesses in the region and asked the county's approximately 4,300 business license holders to take part in an online survey to gauge COVID-19's impact on business. We then followed up with those businesses by providing information requested and pointing them to appropriate resources. Examples of assistance provided included regular updates on the governor's proclamation and reopening guidelines, as well as information on best practices for reopening and survival tips for businesses. We provided connections to state officials and guidance to businesses seeking to obtain the designation as an essential business. And this was really important and of great concern to many of our businesses during the governor's early mandate of closure declarations. We've also helped businesses with resources for personal protective equipment and cleaning supplies, guidance with the Virginia Department of Health when responding to COVID cases. Obviously, we connected as many businesses as possible to the Small Business Administration's EIDL and Paycheck Protection programs, but we also promoted numerous grants provided through the Virginia 30-Day Fund, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Virginia Child Care Provider Program, Existing Worker Training Program, and Mid-Atlantic Trade Adjustment Assistance Center, just to name a few. There were many resources out there, and we were promoting them as we could. It's important to note at this point that if a business qualifies for a PPP or an EIDL loan, these funds are still available, but time is running out as the program ends on August 8th. You can contact Amanda Forrester at the Small Business Development Center for more on this if you're interested. Specific information and guidance was also provided through our partners. For example, the Virginia Career Works Blue Ridge provided $16,000 in layoff aversion grants to 4 county businesses, and other grants that we secured for companies during this challenging time. Some of them were actually growing and expanding. An example of this includes a $23,000 grant from the Virginia Jobs Investment Program to a manufacturer of PPE for hiring 31 additional employees within the town of Benton. There's also a pending $750,000 grant request for the company to purchase additional equipment. We also helped facilitate $126,000 in grants for 7 businesses through the VEDP International Trade Office for county companies that are exporting. And we're pleased to participate in the Roanoke Regional Partnership's $100,000 Regional Recovery Grant to assist targeted sector companies with guidance during the recovery phase of COVID-19. And of course, we recently released the Roanoke County and Town of Benton Small Business Recovery Grant Program, which I will talk about a little more in a few minutes. We also created 3 new platforms on our website and on social media, including a business-to-business platform that features businesses providing direct resources to other businesses in the county. We also created an open for business platform promoting restaurants and retail establishments who remained open or provided curbside service, and a We're Hiring platform showcasing companies that are currently hiring. Overall, nearly 170 businesses participated directly in these marketing platforms. In light of the COVID-19 situation and concerns about living and working in dense urban areas, the Roanoke Regional Partnership launched a campaign to recruit to the region people who can telework to jobs elsewhere. The campaign, The View from Your Office, has the tagline, "Live here, work anywhere, play everywhere," and is targeting major cities in the East and West Coast and touts the benefits of our outdoor lifestyle, affordable housing, convenience, and recreational amenities available in the Roanoke Valley. In its first 30 days, the campaign has resulted in over 2 million impressions and demonstrates the continued interest in our region for living and working. Surprisingly, prospect activity is continuing with developers and investors calling weekly. We are responding and managing all prospect activities as usual. Working with the Roanoke Regional Partnership, we also held an online meeting about the region's opportunity zones. This meeting with businesses, property owners, realtors, developers, and other community stakeholders was very beneficial in promoting the tax breaks and the benefits and features of the Opportunity Zone program. Our zone is located at the intersection of 81 and 581, and it contains about 33 parcels totaling nearly 200 acres of undeveloped or underdeveloped land targeted and zoned for industrial, commercial, or multifamily development. This area also includes the 109-acre Woodhaven Technology Park, and we recently received a $15,000 grant from the state to procure a marketing prospectus for the zone. A summary of the situation in Roanoke County for our businesses looks something like this. Our traded sector businesses, those that are selling outside of the region, have been hurt, but for the most part, they're still operational and weathering the storm. A few manufacturers have trimmed shifts and/or have temporary shutdowns due to slow demand, but overall manufacturers are holding up and faring well. Non-traded sector businesses, however, restaurants, retail, personal services, etc., that sell locally have been hit far worse, with a decrease in sales of 50 to 100%, layoffs, temporary or permanent closures. These businesses are typically small, customer-facing, and have little to no reserves or lines of credit upon which to draw. Nearly 38% year-over-year declines in new business license are currently our state in Roanoke County. So we are down on business license issuance, but hopefully that'll pick back up. From the state's perspective, a recent presentation by the Virginia Economic Development Partnership cites that 90% of economists are projecting the economy to be fully underway this quarter, but overall the prediction is that the state is expecting to be 1/2 of the way back with economic performance by January if we stay on track. Of course, much of this depends on the development of a vaccine that is expected near the end of the year. As you all know, the unemployment picture is quite painful. While initial claims have fallen from their peak in late March and early April, they have now leveled off, but they are still high. In Roanoke County, represented by the topmost blue line, 179 people filed an initial claim in the most recent week for which we have data. Likewise, continuing claims in the county, the dark blue section in the middle of the graph, have been inching downward, but just over 3,000 people were still filing as of July 11. Not surprisingly, the hardest hit industries in terms of job loss are accommodations and food services, retail, and healthcare. Keep in mind also that the additional $600 per week in federal unemployment insurance benefits effectively ends this month. Roanoke County's most recent published unemployment rate for May was at 8.2%, down from 9.6% in April. The state's June unemployment rate is 11.2%, down from 13% in May. So we can see that the unemployment rates are slowly coming back down as people are beginning to return to work. A big concern, however, is retraining for unemployed workers over the long term, particularly in the hospitality sector. We will be working more with our state partners to deploy retraining resources over the next 2 years or longer as needed. Many people will need new jobs and help to reposition and gain new skills, particularly if they shift to a manufacturing environment. The county's housing market is holding up, and it remains strong, with the regional multiple listing service recording the highest level of pending sales in their history. Also, prices are holding steady for the most part, so there is forward momentum here, and we are seeing fairly stable vehicle sales as well during this time. Finally, I wanted to share some specific development project updates, which is always what people are most interested in hearing. Updates on Tanglewood Mall include the construction of a new Kroger fuel island between the Firestone and the Kroger, with completion expected for early December. Carillion Children's construction is underway, with their opening expected next year. We have 2 new hotel projects being planned in the county, a Spring Hill Suites at Gander Way, and a new proposed hotel at Wildwood Road in I-81 that's subject to a favorable rezoning. The Appalachian Electric Power Transmission Operations Center project at the Center for Research and Technology is anticipating construction to begin this fall. And Mack Trucks is planning to start production of the new medium-duty truck model beginning on September 1st. This start was slightly delayed from July as a result of the pandemic. We have a new Firestone Automotive Center under construction in the Bonsack area, and the Lewis Gale freestanding emergency room construction is also expected to begin this fall in Bonsack. We are continuing to build and market the Woodhaven Technology Park with our regional partners. And Ballyhack Golf Course, featured in Golf Digest magazine, is continuing to grow with phase 3 of their expansion, adding 8 new residential cottages. Lastly, the Roanoke County and Town of Vinton Small Business Recovery Grant Program was launched on July 6th. We are receiving applications through July 31st. Funding for the $1.1 million program came from the Federal CARES Act, and these first-come, first-served grants are available to assist businesses with the negative impacts of COVID and will help them sustain their operations in the county. To date, we have received approximately 139 requests, totaling almost $660,000. I want to say thank you to our partners for a strong team effort during a difficult time. Thank you to the Roanoke Regional Partnership, the Small Business Development Center, the Chamber of Commerce, and our Regional Workforce Board.
Thank you for joining us for Roanoke County Business Partners. If you have any questions about this show, want to start a business, or need business assistance, please contact the Roanoke County Economic Development Office at 540-772-2124 or email Jill Loop at jloop@roanokecountyva.gov, or you can always visit our website at yesroanoke.org.